Hi guys, welcome back to the pit. I got an Instagram message the other day asking me, how come you're not showing your face anymore, Dave, on the channel? So I thought I'd start this video just kind of talking in front of the camera, maybe kind of like a live stream or something. Feels kind of like that. Yeah, so the topic of this episode is going to be 1984 Firefly and the attack boat from 1985. The box art has him on the boat. Okay, let's get started. So in 1984, Hasbro released a new Cobra figure and character called codename Firefly. And I have a few things laid out here on the deck of the flag that are involving Firefly. But first, I thought we could look at his actual card art from 1984. And as you can see, it says G.I.Joe, Cobra Saboteur, which was his specialty. And I couldn't find him on the pegs back in 1984. I really wanted him. I remember seeing him on the back of a mutt and junkyard that I got from that same year. And I saw his little picture on the back. But as much as I looked and looked, I just could never find the guy out in the wild on the pegs. And yeah, that kind of sucked. And then I remember my cousin Jonathan, he actually got him. So, but yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. First, I just wanted to show you this box art that, of course, is the Hector Greedo card art. He's just a tremendous character that so many Joe fans like. And yeah, back to what I was talking about, as far as my cousin goes, he was able to get Firefly. And he brought him over to my house one day in the summer, and I got to play with him. And I just really liked how he looked like so commando-ish with the ski mask and a little cell phone. His backpack with a little compartment that could come off. And he was just such a mysterious character as well. And I have an example of his file card from 1984. There it is there, and I have it framed. And it says Cobra Saboteur, codename Firefly. File name classified. Primary military specialty, sabotage, demolitions, and terror. Birthplace classified. Even Cobra Commander doesn't know much about Firefly. His fees are paid into a numbered Swiss bank account and are always payable in advance. He makes no guarantees and gives no refunds. Here's a close-up look at his figure. And came with a submachine gun, little cell phone that goes missing quite often nowadays. And both of those items were in green. And there are many examples on the secondary market that aren't those colors. But if you see those, there's a good chance that they are repros. So just watch out for that. And here's his backpack. And I always thought this was really cool. Has all kinds of little saboteur accessories in there. Like a little bomb, like a stick of dynamite with a timer on it. Some ammo packets. A grenade. And this thing here opens up. This little hatch on the back. And there's more stuff in there. Some little wire cutters. His figure sculpt is just packed with little details. And when I was a kid, I really admired this. So you can see all the grenades on the front. More ammo pouches. Little stick of dynamite on the front there. Like a 4-pack. He's got like a K-bar knife on his wrist. The sweater with the kind of like a turtleneck type deal. That's totally like a commando look. from the 1980s. A ski mask. It's got the Cobra logo on his right arm, as you can see. And the paint is just a classic G.I. Joe character, because when people see this camo pattern, the two grays, they immediately think of Firefly. One thing I remember as a kid that I thought was kind of weird was that he wasn't included with the 45, the handgun, because on the box art, that was kind of a prominent thing that he had. In one hand, he had the 45, and the other had the submachine gun. Here's another Marvel Comics write-up on Firefly. It has some pretty nice artwork as well. And it says, codename Firefly, Cobra Saboteur. No one knows what Firefly's real name is or what he looks like. He is known by his work. Expert in all NATO and Warsaw Pact explosives and detonators. Always places charges in the one place that affords maximum damage. There is no question about his infiltration skills, since no one has ever reported seeing him enter or leave any target area. He first appears in the cartoon, the Sunbow animated series, in 1984's Revenge of Cobra, which was a 5-parter, kind of like an after-school special. And here's a VHS version of one of the episodes from 1985 called The Games Master. And I like this one because it's still in the packaging. But yeah, that's an example of the Sunbow animated series. He first appears in G.I. Joe Marvel number 24. And it's in this panel here. And Baroness is introducing him. And she says, the Firefly is a man of international repute. He's the best. Well, let it suffice to say that if the pilot gets the Firefly to the target, the result is guaranteed. And I remember reading this one as a kid. This particular page here was very, very cool. You can see Major Blood there, talking about Storm Shadow. Some kind of a plot that they're scheming. And there is the Firefly, which is kind of cool that the first time that he's referred to, they call him the Firefly. It kind of gives him some kind of mystique. In 1985, we were treated to having him on the box art a couple times. And as you can see here, he's on the Cobra Ferret with the Ninja Storm Shadow. And he was also on the Cobra Night Landing, which is what we're going to talk about here. I have a box here. And has the classic Hector Greedo art that I always talk about. And it says G.I. Joe with the Cobra Enemy logo, the Cobra Command weapon. Cobra Night Landing does not shoot. And it's got this really cool little boat depicted on the front. And Firefly is kind of sneaking around, going into combat with it. And you can see here, it shows all the stuff that it came with. And I'll get to that in a second. In 1985, at a store called Pameda, it was $3.99. And I'm not really familiar with that store because it's an American store, because this is an American box, of course. So if anybody remembers that store, you can leave a comment below and maybe talk about the 1980s and maybe some of the Joe stuff that you got there. In my case, I never was able to get this thing as a kid. I really, really wanted it. I remember seeing it at the Bay back then, which is a store up here in Canada. But yeah, it sold out really fast. And when I went back there to get one, it wasn't on the shelves anymore. Just like the figure. I was talking about the figure. I really, really wanted the figure, but every time I go back to the store to try to get one, it wasn't on the pegs. So he was super, super popular up here in Canada. So here's the box flipped around. And it's got a lot going on. And as you can see here, which is kind of neat, there's some wrapping paper still held onto by the tape. The old tape. So some lucky kid got this for birthday or for Christmas or whatever. And that's pretty neat. So yeah, it says G.I. Joe, a Cobra command weapon, Cobra night landing. Gliding through the swamps, underneath the cover of darkness, the Cobra night landing moves in for attack. The enemy rows in quietly, makes his move, then uses the outboard motor for a fast getaway. Cannon, raft, entrenching knife, actual size shown, radio, machine gun, super realistic detail, sturdy construction for rugged play, oars, outboard motor, and there's all the stuff that it contains. And there's the flag points. Came with one flag point that you could use towards your mail-away Cobra Commander, or maybe your mail-away Major Blood, or what have you. Now look at this. I bought this thing a few years ago at a nerd convention. That's what me and Shane call, the toy shows. But anyway, yeah, a couple of years ago up here in Toronto, we went to one and I got it there, but I didn't notice this. And this is kind of neat too. I really like this stuff because it kind of gives it some nostalgia. Just like the wrapping paper there. But yeah, a kid wrote Cobra on it. So that's kind of cool. And here's a better look at the actual toy. And it's like a blow-up raft boat with the machine gun on the front there. They call it a cannon on the box. It's got some nice rope going around the outside. It's got the Cobra logo. 878 is the number. It's got the oars. Here's the outboard motor. And here are some of the accessories it came with. I got the shovel and the radio. I'm missing the entrenching knife and the grease gun that came with it. So I've got to get my act together and pick up those two items to make one of these complete. For this part of the video, I'd like to have like a little segment where I can talk about a G.I. Joe memory. Because I've noticed that on my channel, there's some comments where people, they seem to leave messages that they really enjoy when I talk about a G.I. Joe memory from the 1980s. So I thought maybe for some videos coming up, I could kind of include some memories on a special little spot. So yeah, this is the first one. The memory I'd like to talk about today is from this G.I. Joe comics magazine. And these came out in 1986. And what they are is a smaller version of the original G.I. Joe Real American Hero Marvel run. So this one has number 1 in it. 1, 2, and 3, I believe. And I remember getting this back in 1986 at the corner store when they came out. And why I'm talking about this one in particular is because this is the exact one that I lent to a friend in 1987, and his brother spilt Pepsi all over it. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's sort of a stain there. And you can see that it's stained there as well. But all throughout the book, and he was so upset about it that I was going to be angry at him, because they knew how much I loved G.I. Joe, and they would always come over and play Joes, and I would, play Joes with them. But yeah, they were really worried that I would be angry. But I mean, of course I wasn't, because I was just kind of happy that they were playing Joes with me and stuff, because I was a little bit older. I was about 4 or 5 years older than them. So, but anyway, that's a Joe memory for this edition. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I just want to say thank you to all the people who have subscribed lately to the channel. And I'm looking forward to doing many, many more Joe videos in the future. Happy Easter, and God bless. So until the next one, take care. See ya. Just how you feel. You got to roll with the punches and get to what's real.